Hi, this is Mike Bloom. In this short series of lessons, I'm going to show you how to organize your Blackboard site to provide students with the clear goals and pathways they'll need to get the most out of your course. While these tutorials are intended for online instruction, the organizational principles you'll learn are also useful for Blackboard sites for your face-to-face courses. In Lesson 1, I'm going to give you an overview of our online course template. The template you see here is kind of like a tailored suit, pre-alteration. It's not going to fit your course very well to start out with, but I'm going to show you how to custom fit your site so it makes a great fit. I've got 3 examples here of courses that have been customized using this online template that I'd like to show you now. This first example is Drew Stelgis' course on ethical leadership. His menu is divided into weekly modules, with each week devoted to a particular topic. This is important to help students navigate the course. His landing page includes a welcome video, which is a great way to introduce instructor presence to students. The second example is David Trichler's course on national security. His menu is a little more open-ended. Instead of topics, he simply lists the weeks and the dates. The organization is still clear to students, and the dates help them stay grounded. His landing page includes a profile photo, which is important to establish instructor presence, and his text is geared toward helping students navigate the course. In this final example, Jordan Walk's organic chemistry course has an even more pared down menu, just listing the weeks. He has a photo, as in the previous example, as well as some information about the course generally, but then he also adds a bulleted list of steps students should take before continuing. This type of roadmap is important to help keep students organized and on task. So, let's get started on your own site. Let's return to that original template and I'll show you how to customize it to suit your needs. To move a menu item, hover over the left-hand edge of the menu item that you'd like to move and click and drag it to where you want it to go. In this case, I'd like to move the Getting Started menu item below the About the Course menu item. I'll click and drag, and then when I see the dotted line, I'll let it go. To change the name of a menu item, click on the arrow just to the right of the menu item that you'd like to rename. You'll get a drop-down menu, and you'll choose Rename Link. And now in this particular course, I'd like my topics to be assigned by week, so I'm going to call this one Week 1. And I'll click on the little check mark here to save it. And then I can go back and I can change all of the rest of the topics to Week 2, Week 3, Week 4, Week 5. You can also add content areas. In my online course shell class, I would like to add an About the Instructor area that will go right below the Welcome area. So to do this, if you'll notice at the top of my menu, I have a bunch of options. One of them is this plus around inside a circle. This will then bring you to a drop-down menu that gives you all of the options for areas that you can add. Just browse through these and see what they are, but most of the time you're going to be wanting to add a content area. So if I go to the plus, I'll go to Content Area, and I'll now name it, and I'll call it About the Instructor. And now I can make it available to users immediately, or I can leave it unavailable to users. And I'm going to make it unavailable to users, so I want to show you how to make it available later. I'll click Submit, and every new content area that you create will appear at the bottom of your list, unfortunately. So if your menu gets long, you'll have to drag this way up to the top. And again, to move a content area, I'll just drag that way up. And when I get to around where I want it, I'll hover and I'll drop it. And now there it is. And you'll notice that there's a box with a red line through it that indicates that it is hidden from students. You'll also see a gray box that means that it has no content in it right now. To make a hidden area available, all you need to do is hover over the arrow to the right of the item, click on it, and select Show Link. To hide an item, do the exact opposite. I'll hover over About the Instructor in this case. I'm not ready to display it. I'll click on Hide Link. And now I've hidden the link. And now to reveal the link, again, I'll click on the button, Show Link. I can also delete an item in a similar manner. I've decided that I don't want the About the Instructor page after all, and I'd like to delete it. So I click on the arrow again, select delete, and it's going to ask me if I'm sure. I can either hide the link or delete the content, and I'll choose delete content. And they really want me to make sure, and I'll choose delete. And now I'm back to that original site. The last thing I'd like to talk about in this initial tutorial is the landing page. The landing page is what students see when they first come to your Blackboard site. And by default, the site is set up to show announcements. If you use announcements on a regular basis, this is probably a fine place to keep that landing page. But if you never use announcements, what's going to happen is every time your student visits the page, they're going to see this announcements and it's going to be empty. So you may want to change it to an about the course or something like that as your landing page. Now, if you're not going to use the announcements page at all, you can just delete it. And I'm going to do that here. And now I'll also delete that line there. And now you'll notice I have the about the course is the first page that shows up. And that's one way that you can make sure that your landing page is the page that you want. It should be the topmost page on the site. If you want to ensure that that's the case, or if you want to choose another page to be your landing page, you can do that. And the way you'll do that, first I like to shrink my menu because it's really long. And you can shrink your menu by clicking on the arrow right to the left of the name of the course. And now I'll see my course management area. And in my course management area, if I go to my customization button, I can go to my teaching style. And here's where I can select a course entry point. And right now it's set to about the course, but I can do it at anything I would like. I can set it to the getting started or what's most important to the students, the my grades. Whatever you like. So I'm going to leave it on, no, I'm going to change it to getting started just so you can see, and I'll click submit. And now when I go back to the site, you'll see that's where it starts every time on the getting started page. So think about all of these things when you're constructing your course and when you're constructing the pathways your students are going to use as they proceed through your course.